So I had to make this video because honestly, I'm tired. So tired of people speaking on suicide with judgment instead of understanding. I'm tired of people projecting shame and ignorance and spiritual superiority onto those who have attempted or committed or even thought about taking their own lives. Because the honest truth is, you don't get to call someone weak for trying to survive something that you've never carried. You don't get to slap labels like selfish or sinful onto something that you only understand from a surface level. And you definitely don't get to speak on a soul's journey when all you see is the symptoms and not the story. We talk about suicide as if it's only about pain. And yes, pain is a part of it. But from a soul's blueprint perspective, there's more beneath the surface. So as I always talk about, one of my favorite subjects is that when we incarnate, we choose a blueprint with many, many layers. Things like trauma, test, emotional depth, karmic tie, ancestral healing. Those are some of the things that we actually put in our soul's blueprint. As I always say, we choose these complexities not to necessarily suffer, but to expand, to evolve, to remember who we are beyond limitation. But we have what is called free will. It exists. And sometimes the soul's original design becomes heavier in the body than imagined. The density of earth, the programming, the trauma, the disconnection, it compounds. It distorts the soul's original intention. And while our human eyes see suicide as failure or tragedy, the spiritual realm does not judge. So contrary to popular belief, what I have learned through meditation, that there is no punishment. Now, that's not for you to go out here and feel like you need to go ahead and do this, because there are things that do happen in the spiritual realm where you will have to come back and play that game all over again. But on the spiritual side, there's no fire, there's no shame, only understanding and love. But here, in this physical reality that we are in, we judge what we don't understand. We fear what we cannot feel. We also label what we never lived. And we actually miss the opportunity to simply say that that soul may have been tired and the spirit may have been overwhelmed. And maybe, just maybe, we should be gentler with what we don't comprehend. Because honestly, in the spiritual dimension, those souls are still greeted. They are still held. They are still loved. They are still met by familiar spirits that say, "We know it was heavy. We're just glad you made it home." And sometimes after that, the souls can choose to rest. Sometimes it chooses to revise the blueprint, to return in a new body with new lessons, perhaps even a gentler path. And that doesn't mean suicide is the answer. This isn't a justification. It's a deeper conversation. Because honestly, I've had those thoughts before. Ones where this life feels like it's too much sometimes, where the body feels like a burden and the soul wants to go home. But what keeps me here is the connection of people, and then knowing that I was the one that chose this, and I chose this for a reason. So if you are here watching this, breathing through another day, know that you are still in the story. You still have the power to shift it, shape it, and rewrite it. You don't need to exit to start over. You just need to breathe, take some time for you, and begin again. And if you've actually lost someone this way, know this: their journey didn't end in tragedy. It continued in light. And their soul is not gone. It is simply becoming again. Because even in the mysteries of death, love never ends. And no blueprint is ever wasted. That person still has learned and moved through some heavy things, but their soul was just tired. Get deeper. Start the conversation, because suicide is not what we always think or what we see on the surface.